Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the house out here at St. Bernard Acres. Today, this is Saturday, I guess October 19th, yep. Gary came out to help. I wanted to get some wiring. I wanted to get that started so that I could get a jump on it and be ready to insulate next weekend. And we got the service panel in, got a bunch of wiring done. I'll walk around and show it all to you, what we got finished and how it's actually going to lay out now. It's going to be easier to show you what it is I'm doing. But yeah, I'm happy with the progress we made here at the Homestead. But yeah. All right, folks, another long day today. Let me see if I can show you a little bit about what we did. This is 16 by 32, this part of the building. And it's going to house this utility room that'll have a freezer in it, so there's a couple receptacles in there. There's going to be a light switch for a light up in the ceiling for this room. This room is going to be a mud room. A room for the dogs. When they come in from outside, it's snowing, or if they're wet, they can hang out here until they dry out. There'll be a bench over there, dog food station and all that kind of stuff. Just put in a couple receptacles there for the hell of it, not knowing what I would need them for. I definitely believe in the fact you can't have too many receptacles. So I put them where I need them. And where I may need them in the future. If you don't use them, it doesn't hurt anything. Along that wall there, see that wall I added? Is going to mostly be counters and a refrigerator. That's why on this counter, I've got receptacles up here in case we want to plug in the microwave or coffee maker or something over on a counter over here. That's for the refrigerator, which is going to back up against there. And then that wall over there is going to house the kitchen. There'll be a 18-inch drawer base right here, a 30-inch stove, as long as the light doesn't mess with it too bad, a 60-inch sink base, and then another 18-inch base cabinet. That will comprise the kitchen cabinets. So what I've done now on a circuit, you can have up to 8 receptacles. I've kept them at 6. 6 is the most I'm going to put on one. But I'm going to have a 20 amp circuit. It goes up through the top plate, runs along, comes back down. It's the yellow wire. It's the 12-2 wire. Goes into that receptacle, comes along here, goes into that receptacle. It's going to come out of this receptacle and it's going to come up to here. This is over the stove and the sink base and the drawer base. That's going to be a GFI circuit. So I'll run a wire from that one to, damn light. This one over here is also going to be GFI. Those are the kitchen receptacles. Then they'll be on their own line. Then I'll come out of that receptacle down there also, down here, and I'm going to run it to that receptacle, this one, and that one. That comprises the living room on this side. So there's 7 receptacles there, or 6. That's going to be the 120 amp circuit is going to be that. Then this utility room is going to have a freezer in it. I put a receptacle over there, receptacle over here. Then these receptacles are all on a circuit. There's 6 receptacles on that 20 amp circuit that's running with 12 2 wire. Then there's one more circuit, one more 20 amp circuit that'll come out of the panel, up the ceiling, across these ceiling ties, or collar ties. And then the yellow wire runs over here. There's gonna be a switch over here for the ceiling fan in the living room. And then it'll go down to a receptacle, receptacle, receptacle. And that's going to be, I don't think I have any more in there. That's going to be another circuit. So that's the 3 20 amp circuits I'm running for this build, this 16 by 32. Then there'll be a 15 amp circuit for lighting. That's the 14 2 wire, that's the white stuff. So it's coming out of there, going over to this box, and this box will be the light for this room, this mud room will be in there, and the outside light for the back door. This will be a 2-way switch for the light in this mud room. I can turn it on or off coming in the door, or I could turn it on or off walking from this door through it. So, and I have to get some 14-3 wire to put in the double. So that's on a 15 amp circuit. Now, there's another wire coming out of that same circuit, going up across the ceiling over to a double light switch here. That light switch is going to control the kitchen lights in case we come in the front door, we can turn on the kitchen lights, and the outside light of the front door. Then it's going to have a 2-way switch. I need a double to put over here because I want to be able to turn off the kitchen lights from the kitchen or when we walk in the front door there. And then there'll also be a switch in this double for a ceiling fan and light kit up in the ceiling. And then there'll be another one, another ceiling fan and light kit down here in the living room, somewhere in this area. That all runs on 15 amps. I only need 14.2 for that stuff. But that's the simplest, basic wiring plan there is. And I stress again, I am not a certified electrician. I am showing you how I am running this. It may be right, it may be wrong, depending on your location, your particular code, your inspectors, I don't know. This all works for me. I'm very fortunate out here in this rural area where I live. I don't have inspections. I don't have to worry about the electric people coming out here and killing everything I've done. So I'm fortunate. I just know how to put it all in and make it work. I don't necessarily have to go by code, although I am going by code. Russell sent me the code book, EC code book. I'm going by that so that at least I do it right. If I had to have it inspected, I would be able to pass an inspection, I believe. Maybe I don't have the staples in the right place or something like that, but I would have to work on that. But yeah, that's part 1 of the rough end. Now, I have to run all of the wiring down here. I'll do that tomorrow, and then run the wiring on that circuit over there on the bottom. I already have it coming from the top and out of the box. But I'll show you a little bit more detail when I'm doing that tomorrow. This was just trying to get all this part done, and while I had help, Gary came out, get all the stuff up in the ceiling, get all the holes drilled through the top plates and the walls. It ain't easy work, but you know, when you got two old guys, you can get some stuff accomplished. But I think next weekend we're going to be able to insulate at least the walls. The ceiling, I still got to buy a bunch of 2x4s for the collar ties, the way I'm going to do the ceiling, and get all that laid out. Then I have to run a 50 amp circuit over to the stove over here. I forgot about that. I got to get the wiring and run that. And then I'm going to run, probably, I have to decide. I still have to do a little bit more research. But on this wall back here is going to be a hallway for the addition. I'm building a 16 by 24 inch addition back here. So I'm going to need a circuit for the bathroom, for the bedroom. The utility room is going to be over on this side with the washer, dryer, water heater, and the furnace. So I have to run the wiring for all that. I don't have that built yet, but what I'm going to do is run all of the circuits and run the wiring up through the ceiling and down on that end, leave it all coiled up. So at least I'm in the panel and it's all back there for when I do the addition. Then I can run it through to the outside, which will go into the addition. So yeah, I have a 100 amp panel here. I have enough circuits on it to run what I need. And I only need a 100 amp panel. I've got 200 amps coming to my service out there, but I don't need 200 amps in this house. So I'm gonna send 100 amps over for Alex for his house up there. At home, I have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house with central air. Everything is electric except the furnace. So it has, you know, electric stove, electric dryer, electric water heater, central air, air conditionings in the windows upstairs because it sucks. And all of that runs on my 100 amps. I've never had an issue with it. So I don't have to have 200 amp service. Before everybody tells me, oh, you ought to run 200 amp service. All of that costs more. And I don't need it. So I'm not going to use it. But yeah, this is part 1 of the electric rough-in. Tomorrow will be part 2. And I got to get, like I said, receptacles for the stove, some 6-gauge wire to come out of a 50 amp breaker for the stove. Then the dryer will need a 30 amp, and the furnace and the water heater will run off of 110. But yeah, that's where we go. And the dryer will only be used on cold days. Otherwise, the laundry will be done. Drying will be done outside by solar power. But yeah, it's I feel good about what we accomplished today. We got to go have lunch and run some wiring and get things started in here. Looking good, folks. Appreciate y'all watching. So that's my progress out here today. I'm calling it a night. It's 5:30, 6 o'clock. So we did good. A couple old guys trying to build a house, you know what I mean? And trying to do it all ourselves. So I saved a little bit of stuff so Alex can come out tomorrow and can learn. He needs to learn what all this means and what I'm doing, because he's got to do his house now. Dad's not going to do all his house. That's not going to happen, you know? So He can come out, he can watch what I do, learn what I'm doing, and that'll give him a better idea when he tries to set up time frames of when stuff gets done. Because, you know, Alex has it in his mind, he wants 150 receptacles in his little house. So he can plug everything in, but he'll learn how, you know, you don't need all that and how the electric and the service panel works. It's a teaching opportunity for him. So that's why I kind of stopped where we are. Gary helped with all the hard stuff and the ceiling, you know, getting everything up through the top plate and across the ceiling and all that kind of stuff. The bottom part I can run by myself. Alex, he can drill some holes and we're good to go. But yeah, the rough end of the wiring will be all done tomorrow. And Gail's got to pick out the lights that she wants. The 2 outside lights I'll put up next weekend. Like I said, we'll do all the collar ties next weekend. And things are coming together. We're going to have a house pretty soon, folks. Anyway, I appreciate y'all watching. Remember, like, share, comment, ding the bell, and whatever else you can think of. But I'm not going to do a live stream tonight. Tired. I'm still adjusting to all these pills that I'm trying to deal with. So I'm not going to do a live stream tonight. Maybe next weekend I'll get back into it because I don't have any tests next week. My next test is about the middle of November. So I don't have any more medical things to do for, 2 or 3 weeks. And then maybe I can get into it. But I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. This is Joe out here at St. Bernard Acres. I'm out, folks.